Talk about Bitcoin and how there may be Bank of America thinks that this year will be the price divergence year for crypto. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we know that there's a lot of niches, however you pronounce that. I like saying niches, but people like saying niche. We have a lot of categories, a lot of segments, right? We have the store values like Bitcoin, but we also have utility coins. We also have like payment coins. We also have stable coins. I mean, there's a lot of categories, but also if you break it down, there are subcategories, like if these tokens are used for, let's say, gaming or metaverse or DeFi. I mean, there's a lot of projects out there. And according to Bank of America, they think that the ones powering the chains, such as like Ethereum and Avalanche and Cosmos and Solana and Cardano, these are the ones that will stand out because they have the most utility. And then they actually said versus, like, say, the meme coins, which have no utility, according to Bank of America. Now, when we do go into a bull market, meme coins will go up, regardless if they have utility or not. But the supply, Ethereum and Bitcoin supply on exchanges, 5-year low. Is it bullish with a question mark? Of course it is. Of course it is. When you have the supply dropping, okay, that means there's just less of it to go around. Demand, we know, is still doing this. Just like my thumbnail. Demand is going up. Supply is going down. When that happens, price goes up, right? It may not happen right away since there are still plenty of Bitcoin out there on the exchanges. But over time, as Bitcoin supply continues to drop and demand continues to explode upwards because of worldwide adoption, you know what's going to happen, right? It's just supply and demand. It's just, that's how prices is dictated, right? And that's exactly what's happening right now. You have a lot of retail investors like you and I, average Joes. You have a lot of whales. You have a lot of institutions, a lot of companies that are just buying and hoarding Bitcoin for the future. As for this notion of hitting $1 million for Bitcoin, just seems like it's fantasy, right? Like I just made that up. There's no way Bitcoin could get to $1 million. I mean, considering it's only 23,000, what are you talking about, George? How can you get to $1 million? Well, let me show you. This is the Bitcoin Adoption S-Curve and Bitcoin's current price. And you can see this goes up by tenfold, right? If you're looking at the y-axis, goes from 10 to 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, $1 million, and $10 million. Now, according to this, and this was tweeted by Plan B, that eventually Bitcoin's top, the adoption S-curve, when it's right at the very top, is going to be around $10 million. But even before then, we can hit $1 million before that. Now, you can see we have deviated a little bit, okay? We have gone down a little bit. So does that mean our recovery back up to follow the S-curve is going to be crazier than we ever seen before? That is a real possibility. Before I move on, I want to talk about privacy really quick. Are you concerned about your internet activity being monitored? Or are you concerned that centralized exchanges are tracking your location through your IP? If so, and you want to keep your activity and location private, then check out NordVPN. NordVPN helps protect your online privacy and security through their virtual private network spread across the world. Using NordVPN, you can hide your IP address, encrypt your internet connection, shielding your digital life from prying eyes like internet service providers, network administrators, crypto exchanges, and even from the government. NordVPN uses military-grade encryption and has a strict no-log policy to keep your data safe from hackers and cyber criminals. Plus, with over 5,000 servers in 59 countries, you can easily access the internet anywhere in the world while being protected. Whether you're at home or on the go, NordVPN has you covered. If you want to learn more about NordVPN, check out the URL in the description of this video. And here, this lays it all together. Well, this is minus the Central Bank of China, but if you look at the Fed, the ECB, and Bank of Japan, the blue line is their liquidity. And you can see when their liquidity goes up, what happens with Bitcoin? It goes up too. So if we start seeing a liquidity injection once again from all major banks, guess what that's going to happen? It's going to drive things higher, right? That's why a major move, right, could be imminent. Now, I say short term because we know long term what the consequences are, and they're not good. Long term, more liquidity injection means more inflation. That means tackling inflation is going to be harder. But many countries, they're weighing their options. They think that injecting liquidity is more important now than reducing inflation, right? Like Bank of Japan just have absolutely no care for inflation right now. They don't care how high inflation goes. They just want to spur up their economy right now. And the same thing with China. They want to kickstart things, right? And increase production. They don't care really about inflation. So if we see all these banks join together and start injecting massive liquidity and buying assets once again, well, that is going to be fantastic short term and long term. Of course, Coinbase also recently announced Base, which is their L2 project, right? So their testnet actually went live today. So dApp makers that want to take advantage of Base can do so. But honestly, Base is just like a forked version of Optimism. It's using the same source code. So how is it different from Optimism right now? I don't actually know. I think it's basically the same chain. So it's really a win for Optimism. Less so on Coinbase part. Coinbase just wanted to be a fiat on-ramp system for Optimism and for Solana and for Ethereum, right? So I think that's the real reason why they want to do this, but it has helped Optimism quite a lot, including all the Optimism dApps, including their DEX. I just mentioned about DEXs. The biggest DEX within Optimism, Velodrome, sees record fees because there's just record volume. It's exploding right now. This morning, I see on CNBC front page talking about fallout from Silvergate. Okay, that's a nice photo, by the way. I don't know where that got that from, but CNBC is claiming that what happened is due to Silvergate. And of course, yesterday, Silvergate, well, it doesn't show anymore. Right now, they're about to open in a green, but yesterday they had a 57% drop. 57%. And that's because they said, okay, we're not going to publish our annual report because it's so bad. We need more time to calculate the losses. And regulators may be looking at us soon. I mean, they're upfront about it. They disclosed it. So who do they mean by regulators? Well, not just the CFTC or SEC, but like the Department of Justice. Okay, so they're actually looking at criminal things. So that's pretty bad. Oh, you could see the market bell just rung, so they have popped up a little bit. But again, they have to go up over 100% to make up for what was lost yesterday. And I don't think that's going to happen.